Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode, we are lasering focus on Bitcoin and what the price might do in October 2025. We'll go through recent development, a technical and micro factors, and analytics forecast, risk and scenarios. What to watch. By the end, you'll have a clear picture of whether Bitcoin could make a strong move next month or whether caution is warranted. Let's get started. First, a quick review where the things stand as of late September 2025. The has been trading Bitcoin has been trading relatively tight range, roughly 110k to 120k, depending on the day and the market condition. The several report note it is a range bound around 112k. As trader wait for the more clarity on the interest rate policy and macro data, inflation, etc. There has been result volatility and some shape sell-off trigger by leverage, passion, margin call, and taking after Bitcoin approach its recent high. On the micro front, the U.S. Federal Reserve stand is under a close watch for signal around rate cuts, inflation figures, PCE data, and how hawkish or dovish Fed chair Paul sound. That's affecting a risk sentiment broader, including for crypto. The institutional interest and accumulation by the larger holders, whales, has shown up on chain data. Some analytics urge that supply data, supply liquidity is tightened as more Bitcoin is being held off exchange, which could support upward pressure. So that's backdrop as we move into October. A consolidation passage, micro uncertainty, but also bullish undertone from institution and supply dynamics. Now, what force might drive Bitcoin in October? These are the key levels to monitor. First, interest rate and monetary policy. First things, okay? If the Fed signals or the take action towards looser policy, rate cuts or slower hike, they tend to have a favor risk asset, including Bitcoin. Conversely, any hawkish surprises cool damn momentum. The inflation rate, PC job report will be critical. The institutional demand, ETF reserve flows, like product like spot ETF, corporate treasure purchase, souvenir, and recent accumulation such as strategic Bitcoin can add demand. If institution continue to enter or increasing exposure, that's bullish. On the flip side, outflow or taking profit taking matter on supply demand on JT. How much Bitcoin is being held long-term wallet overseas? How much liquid on exchange is important? Lower available supply. If it held off exchange, create potential for scarcity effects. And whale accumulation is one of the sign of this. Also, main activity on regulation text. Seen. The technical level and chart pattern, if you see, either resistance and a support zone matters. Resistance level is near of Bitcoin is 116k to 18k has been cited in multiple analyses. A support zone is Bitcoin. Support zone is 110k to 115k are critical. If those break, downside risk increases. Also, moving averages, RSI, MACD setups, and volume trends. The fifth thing is a regulation and geopolitical micro risk. Regulatory development, for example, like SEC rule or crypto law changes in the media's jurisdiction, geopolitical uncertainty and global growth expectation, even a development related field like AI, energy, global supply chain could have direct effect. The example, the cost, investor risk appetite. The sixth thing, which I think is that market sentiment volatility, like a trader expectation, dramatize the market bets, implied volatility option structure like bullish bet can build momentum, but they can also lead to sharp correction if sentiment shift. The October is something the signable favorable for month for risk asset. but also one where the surprises tend to happen. The several analytics and forecasting outlets have been published projection for the Bitcoin October 2025. Here are a few of the more interesting ones. According to CoinDCX, the Bitcoin is expected to continue bullish trajectory in October 2025 with a 5 to 7% rise suggested. They see it targeting around 122k if resistance around 116k is converted into support earlier in this month. If momentum build possible 120k maybe or 125k range. The forecast agree in part. They expect BTC in October fluctuate between 117k to 125k with the average around 121k. Some are bullish takes a urge about BTC and may eye on 150 by late 2025 if institutional follow intensify and macro condition remains favorable. But most of those are October um, more a stepping zone and not a bull breakout. From derivatives market, there are reports that traders are placing significant bet on BTC to exit 120k. By the end of October, is a 34% chance, according to some of the implied volatility option expressed. The more extreme long-term forecast beyond October exists as well. Well, for this month, more cluster around 120k to 130k zone as a possible upside, difficult but possible multiple tailwind. To summarize, and the consequence for October looks bullish but moderate. Breakout are possible, but many anticipated resistance outerlight. And let me think about what might happen technically in October. Possible path. If holds Bitcoin holds support around 112k or 115k in early October. The breaks above resistance of 116k, 118k with a good volume. It could rally towards 125k, perhaps slightly higher. A run toward 130k could be possible if demand is strong and micro tailwind align. Scenario B, the sideways and consolidation. If resistance hold and micro data of Fed signals are mixed, the Bitcoin may linger in the range roughly from 110 to 118k for the much October. There might be a spike and dip, but no decisive breakout. Support zone will be tested, volatility higher. Scenario C will be like a bearish correction. Like if there are expected hawkish rate, surprise, if bad macro news, higher inflation, weak economic data, or regulatory headwind, or with the Bitcoin could test deeper support, possibly downside toward 100k to 105k. If more severe scenarios, especially the traders start liquidating leverage position. In a key technical level to watch, if support is 110k, around 115k, depending upon looking at a various moving average AMA resistance 116 to 118k is a crucial zone. Above that 125 to 130k breakout occurs. Volume on breakout moving average, then also RSI overbought, oversold, driving. There are a few factors, right? So what is the risk and what could you go wrong? It's not all upside. Yes, the what could really bullish expectation in October. Uh, I think if the Fed delay rate cut on signal, risk asset could underperform. Inflation stays sticky on inflation, PCE surprising to upside with the headwind. There are also like a regulation and legal risk. Like any negative regulatory development in the US, Europe or major judiciary taxation, crypto asset rule, ETF restriction could reduce demand and increase uncertainty. For instance, a geopolitical event like banking stress, etc., if the risk aversion, the risk sharply, liquidation, flight to safety, could hit BTC hard. The resistance level of holding, the low breaking, if the support is around 110k fail, then may lead to a sharper pullback. The overextension of a speculation, if too much speculative leverage builds up, then any negative trigger could cause a cascade, and also sentiment swing are powerful and can reverse quickly. So stay on top of the thing of October and data point, events, signals, or you should monitor. US macroeconomic relays, inflation CPI, PCE, employment number, any surprise matter, Fed Central meeting, statement speech, clear guidance on rate cut, tighten. On chain metric, accumulation by long-term holder, volume may exchange. Option private market, improve volatility, option expiry level, then also the screw are traders are giving heavyweight into large upside or downside moves. Then also like regular development like laws, ETF rule, SCX announcement, tax ruling, government reserve policy, global political event, trader energy, which can be affected and then there are also like technical chart, breakout signals like resistant tested volume confirmation stress distacks of support or resistant and support. Let me do the forecast, like if I were a hazard on a forecast for the Bitcoin price of October 2025, you are the what seems more likely early October Bitcoin will likely to be begin the inside range from 112 to 118k, possibly with some dip toward 110k during the week micro days. As evening support hold and any rate cut optimize continue breakout towards the 120 125k looks very flexible. The end of the October, I think the high end of what seems reasonable is perhaps 130 to 135, but they require favorable micro tailwind, strong institutional inflows, a little regulatory headwinds. If those align, more modest gain likely, with the perhaps pullback consolidation again. The full month average probably around is 122k to 125k, assuming no major stocks. So, moderately bullish, upside is there, but upside is not guaranteed without a key catalyst and element. To sum of October 2000 will be an important month for Bitcoin, but we may see a breakout or strong rally if support holds and favorable micro development materialize. But risk is real, especially from the policy surprise or regulatory issue. If you hold or plan to invest, it makes sense to keep an eye on those critical level of support 110k to 115k. The resistance is 116k, 118k, and pay close attention, my friends, to the micro and institutional clues, risk management, and don't all leverage. Thanks to listening, watching. If you found this useful, do consider liking, share, and subscribe. I'll bring some forecast Ethereum altcoin soon. Until next time.